Hi guys, this is Fire Chula here, aka The Real Dragon Eye, coming to you with another video. And in this video, like I said in the first video and like forever that I just posted yesterday, I am going to share with you some experiences that I have gone through over this course. So this is going to be a story time, so just kick back and just grab some popcorn and relax. So part of the reason why I went MIA was, one, I decided to go back to Arizona, but before that happened, I first started off in New York. I was in Bronx. Well, I started noticing, of course, it got too expensive. So I had a good friend of mine who offered me a job out in Las Vegas basically as a nanny and housekeeper. Well, I was doing my job, but the woman who was quote unquote the so-called girlfriend of the person that hired me was extremely jealous, wouldn't let me do my job. She thought I was a threat, like I was trying to take over her so-called house and everything, which was not the case. I was just trying to do what I was hired for, which was to keep the place clean, make sure the kids were safe, well taken care of while they went to work. But when that decided to hit the fan, I went back to Arizona thinking, okay, if I go back to Arizona, that's like my home away from home. I love that place. Well, let's just say things didn't go as well as I thought they would. I stayed with a friend, but I didn't like the fact that, she got the wrong idea. I told her specifically I was just going there. I was going to stay there just for a short time to save up some money to get my own place. Well, I was doing what a good friend would do, and that's help keep the place clean, even cook a few meals here and there. But because she drinks, and because of her losing her job, give or take, because of the whole COVID-19 coronavirus, her mentality changed, and it brought out the ugly side of her, and I wasn't having it. So long story short, I had thought, to the life of me, I thought I had found the perfect apartment. Well, it looked all good and everything, but when I got there, I got to meet the real owners, and they said that, "I'm sorry, miss, but you've been scammed." So that listing on Roomster.com was a total scam. Somebody had decided to take upon themselves to make a fake ad saying, "Oh, I am renting this studio apartment for such and such amount," which he was only going to charge me $552, which, come to find out, there was no apartment there. It was a regular house. So, with that being said, it was almost 120 degrees outside, give or take, at this time, so it was hot as hell. I got severely sunburnt, probably was suffering a heat stroke. So I decided to go to where I was familiarized with, which was, the Christown Mall area, and met up with a friend there. They took me over to the CBI Center, which is called Community Bridges. It's a behavioral health center, but my friend only took me there because he said, "Oh, okay, they'll let you stay the night. It's a 24, 48-hour facility, and they would help me find a place." Well, I was in total shock, like, didn't know what to do. You know, I was already ticked off, pissed off, upset, probably most of all, like, scared and nervous as hell because I've never had this happen to me before. So, long story short, went to that CBI center. And then, of course, they bribed me to go to this place called the Dream Center, which I'm going to give you a piece by piece story about the Dream Center. It's a good place, don't get me wrong, it's a good place for those who have been suffering from addiction, who are trying to stay sober. They need that faith-based life to kind of get them off that mentality, you know, to get them thinking clearly again. But there's some dark side perks to that place too. And this is where my story is going to really begin, because I kept quiet for so long for this place because I was treated unfairly there. Out of all the people that were at this place, it's basically everybody that was there, because it's a place for men and women, but of course everybody's segregated because it's faith-based. But everybody that's there is either on probation, parole, fresh out of prison, mentally incapacitated, which means they have some sort of mental illness or whatever, or they're just, you know, got a really dark past, have addictions to drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever you could think of, and this and that. Well, I was one of the many few that I didn't have none of that. Never been to prison, never been arrested, never been on parole, probation, never did drugs. Granted, I drank a little when I was younger, but not to the point where I became a full-fledged alcoholic. But being at the Dream Center, they have phases. They got first phase, which you basically get treated like you can't do crap. You can't speak to nobody. It's like, there's a whole fraternizing rule. You can't fraternize. Like, if you're a female, you can't even talk to a guy without everybody looking at you like you're flirting with them. And they'll write you up, and then all of a sudden you got to see a board of people that want to judge you. And they love to twist your words and make you think that you've done something that you really didn't do. Because it's honestly, like, they just don't want you to talk to boys at all. And they don't want the boys to talk to the girls at all. It's like, give or take. And they just want you to focus on the Bible and this and that. And it was alright for me in the beginning. Like, I told myself, I'm just going to do this just to not only save up my money, but to just have a fresh new start. Well, when it got a little bit closer to the end of my first phase, I started a ministry, which was working at a thrift store called Mama Julie's Treasures. Well, I just did it to keep busy because I didn't like the two sides of the Dream Center. I didn't like the whole favoritism, because there is favoritism there. They will favor other people, they're others. And it's really messed up. But I started working at this thrift store, basically just trying to help keep the place organized. And then they had trained me to be a cashier, which was great. So, of course, long story short, like, during the time when COVID hit the campus real hard and everybody had, I guess, caught the virus, and I was one of the many few that didn't catch it at all. And yeah, I went to the urgent care just to get a test because I was suffering like allergies. So they just gave me some allergy medicine, but they still had to do a COVID test on me, which came out negative. But they kept me in isolation for a week. But when I came out of isolation for a week, went back to work, there was a guy there. Never seen him in my life. Wasn't even interested. All I wanted to do was get back to work. Well, this guy started flirting with me. Started kind of getting too friendly with me, which was making me very uncomfortable. So my defense mechanism kicks in and I just start being nice to the person back, so I don't show my real feelings, because I don't want people to see, the pain I've gone through. Which I'll get into that inside of another video. But long story short, and this happened give or take a month before I graduated. I was working and the bosses switched up. One boss left, another boss came in, but they tried to frame me, trying to say that I was stealing from them, which I have no reason to steal from that place. If I wanted something, I would ask for it, or I just pay for it. And one of the biggest rules over at that place is, if you like something, you basically pray over it, bless it. If it's still there by the end of the shift and nobody's tried to buy it, it's yours. So in the past, anything that I've liked, I've always asked beforehand, oh, can I bless this? Can I pray over it? And if it's still there, can I have it? And they always are telling me, yeah, it's yours. Well, I don't know what was going through their damn brains at the time, but a certain somebody, which I ain't gonna name their name, but they know who they are, had the nerve to falsely accuse me of stealing. And then on top of that, they had the nerve to accuse me of fraternizing. All because I saw a gift, I saw something that one of my coworkers liked. So I figured, since it was getting closer to the time that I was going to leave, I was going to graduate and then leave. Well, during that time, I basically decided to give them a gift, but I wasn't going to give it to them myself. I was going to have their roommate give it to them, but have just a slight note in it saying, look, I saw that you liked this, and I figured you would like it, so here it is. I'm graduating here on this date, so see ya. Well, the boss saw that the roommate was going to give it to him and decided to turn it into this lady, which I ain't going to name her name neither. And she had the nerve to turn around and accuse me of fraternizing, which, in my honest opinion, I don't find that fraternizing. So they banned me from the place for a month, which I was fine with, because I didn't want to be there anyway for a month, because I was too busy trying to get all my work done so I could graduate with honors. Well, on top of that, here comes the worst part. One of the things about this place, they don't allow you to make phone calls for the first 6 months. You can't even make long distance calls. And when somebody tries to make a call, somebody could randomly come in and just hang up the phone call on you. Well, I didn't know that my grandparents on my dad's side had passed away. And they kept on trying to tell me, oh, well, we'll let you use our phone so you can make that call to check on all your family. Well, when that happened, it was too late, because they were never around to even follow through with that promise. So the way I found out about my grandparents passing away was through a letter that my mom sent me with 2 obituaries in it, which pissed me off to the core. So after that, I graduated with honors. I was still ticked off. I didn't want to show my emotions and feelings towards this place, but After I graduated, I went to, I went on my phase break, went to go visit my grandparents in North Carolina, and then came back from my phase break, went back to work, but it wasn't the same. Because being in second phase, like, they said, oh, you could talk to people, you don't have to worry about anything. As long as you're second phase, you could talk to them. Well, I felt like I wasn't being treated as second phase. I felt like, to be honest with you, I felt like they were treating me like I was always being treated when I was in first phase, like trying to falsely accuse me of stuff and treat me like I'm not even second phase. And I just got fed up with it. Like the favoritism, the backstabbing, and just the complete, two-facedness of the place. Like, I just was not having it. And I didn't feel like I've fit in over there because I'm not a criminal. I'm not, a drug addict or alcoholic or sex addict or prostitute. None of that. Not even a former prisoner. Like, I just didn't like the atmosphere. Like, I felt like I was being painted as something I wasn't, and it wasn't for me. I mean, yeah, it can be for those who need the help, but for me, no. But I guess I'll probably explain more about this in another video, but I just wanted to share this little story with you guys because I know I was MIA for a long time, and I'm sorry for that. It's just not having access to a phone to be able to do videos, and then they don't even give you access to social media or anything, so it's like I couldn't even work while I was there. So, but now that I'm finally like back in North Carolina in my own place, back with my true love who's known me for over 10 years, I'm actually able to do videos for you guys and keep you updated on everything and share with you guys like what's going to be coming up in the future. And of course to do more review videos and more story videos. So with that being said, I'm going to jump off of here. And I will do another video pretty soon. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. Leave a comment below. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And for all that have subscribed, thank you for all the love and support. I really appreciate it. And like I said before, I will keep you posted on how things are going. And I do got some surprises in the future that will blow your guys' minds. So with that being said, I love you guys. Besos.